Hi, fellow realtors. I'm Karen Cox, your 2019 OREA president, and I am joined today by Johnmark Roberts, our 2019 chair of our Finance and Audit Committee. The last time we spoke, I had the pleasure of updating you on the exciting consultation we have launched on how OREA can strategically invest our reserves to the benefit of our 78,000 realtor members. Today, as part of our open and transparent consultation process, we want to give you an update on OREA's reserve fund situation and how, with your help, some of these reserves are going to support the strategic investments we would like to make in new services for our members.
As an association, OREA is in a position to invest in improving member services for two reasons. First, over the last few years, we made a commitment to financial discipline. The Board of Directors has cut back on governance and board travel, hospitality costs, as well as CEO and staff travel. We have also reduced the number of events with the philosophy of holding fewer but better events. Second, as many of you know, the deadline for course enrollments into OREA's registration education program was April 30th, and we experienced a tremendous uptick in the number of course enrollments in the first 4 months of 2019, over 18,000. In fact, we had an unprecedented high level of activity in the college with over 45,700 enrollments, which is a 67% increase compared to the same period last year, and 141% higher than our projections. While we are only halfway through the fiscal year 2019, and we still have significant college operational and closing costs, our budget projections are that we may have an unanticipated college budget surplus of more than $20 million by the end of this fiscal year. Our existing reserves, we believe, are adequate to meet OREA's needs as our association transitions to the new OREA in 2021. But let's be clear, these are just projections. There is no guarantee that the enrollment patterns, flow-through rates from Course 1 to completion of the college program will follow historical trends, which is why we need to take our time and be thoughtful about how we use this unanticipated surplus moving forward.
Since we kicked off our consultation last week for the projected surplus for 2019, I have received a lot of questions from members about the amount OREA has to invest in new, exciting member services. Like your associations, OREA maintains reserves to meet operational needs and ensure financial stability. This is particularly important for OREA as it goes through the college closure. Going forward, to keep our association nimble, responsive to issues that may develop at Queen's Park, or ready for the next big economic downturn, we need to keep healthy reserves in place. So here's the bottom line. While OREA's total assets will be more than $70 million at the end of this year, the surplus from 2019 is the only portion we have to invest in new member services. Spending all of our reserves and the 2019 unexpected surplus would be irresponsible and leave your provincial association in a weak financial position.
To illustrate this situation a bit more clearly, let's go through our existing designated reserve funds and their intended purposes. OREA has 8 board-designated reserve funds to support the operational needs of the association. First, we have a contingency and special projects reserve fund that is established for the purpose of meeting unanticipated needs of the association. It is used for unexpected emergencies and to fund special, non-recurring, one-time projects. The level of the contingency and special projects reserve fund at the end of 2018 was $3.7 million. Next, OREA maintains a dues stabilization fund for the purpose of stabilizing dues revenues and to avoid sudden increases for members. The amount in the fund represents 2 years of annual dues revenue and was $19 million at the end of 2018. The third fund OREA maintains is for legal defense. It is set up to fund applications made by boards under the OREA Legal Assistance Plan, to support any litigation expenses and for special projects of a legal nature. In 2018, the association had $500,000 set aside for legal defense. Since you never know what issues may come up out of Queen's Park that could threaten realtors or the affordability of home ownership, OREA also maintains a political action reserve fund. Political campaigns can be expensive. As an example, the MLTT campaign OREA fought in 2015 cost the association almost $1 million. So OREA maintains $3 million in this reserve fund. Fifth, OREA maintains a technology reserve fund. This fund is set up for the specific purpose of investments in technology and was $1.5 million at the end of 2018. The next reserve is the Course Development Fund. This fund was previously set at $4 million for the college courses. However, in 2017, it was reduced to $1 million after RICO announced that the education agreement would be awarded to Humber NIT. Next is the Building Reserve Fund. It was set up for the specific purpose of maintenance of the property owned by the association at 99 Duncan Mill Road in Don Mills. As many of you know, the OREA Board of Directors has set up the Head Office Relocation Task Force, chaired by David Oikel, to make recommendations on the potential purchase of a new property for the association. The task force has not yet completed its work, so no adjustments to the building fund have been made to support the sale of 99 Duncan Mill Road and the purchase of a new building. The unadjusted level of the Building Reserve Fund at the end of 2018 was $460,000. The final reserve fund we maintain is the College Contingency Fund. The College Contingency Reserve Fund was set up in December 2016 for the specific purpose of meeting the costs and obligations related to the college wind down and closure. The Board of Directors has approved that the college surplus for the years 2016, 2017, and 2018 be transferred to the College Contingency Reserve Fund to help meet those needs. The level of the College Contingency Reserve Fund in 2018 was $23.8 million. In total, OREA has set aside $53 million in designated reserves at the end of 2018 to keep our association nimble, responsive, and ready for any future the outside world may throw at our members or the association. The OREA Finance and Audit Committee has worked diligently with the Board of Directors and our auditors and outside legal counsel to evaluate the level of each reserve fund to make sure they are appropriate for an association of our size. Going forward, the 2019 Finance and Audit Committee has set up a work group and is once again reviewing the level of OREA's reserves looking to the future. This is a multi-year project as we transition through the close of the college in December 2020 and the new OREA emerges. The Finance and Audit Committee will make its first recommendation on the level of reserves to meet the association's needs at the December Board of Directors meeting.
So here's the truth about OREA's reserves. OREA had $53 million in designated reserves at the end of 2018. The OREA Board of Directors has determined that this level is required to meet the operational needs of the association and therefore not available for spending on new products and services. As we've discussed, due to the unforeseen high enrollments in our college, we are projecting that OREA will have a large surplus in 2019, such that we could have more than $70 million in total assets by the end of the fiscal year. Based on the projections for a large surplus, we anticipated that we will have between $10 and $15 million at the end of 2019 to strategically invest in new member services. To be clear, this is a projected amount and not the final number. There are a number of factors which could impact OREA's costs going forward, including obligations under the Private Career Colleges Act, lower than expected enrollments in Course 2, and higher than anticipated costs in the wind down of the OREA Real Estate College. Further, the OREA Board of Directors is going to decide later on the exact amount for spending on new member services, after considering the Finance and Audit Committee's feedback on levels of reserves. For these reasons, it would be irresponsible for us or anyone else to rush into spending our reserves. Instead, let's be thoughtful. Let's work together. And let's stop the politics. We are in a privileged position to be able to invest in our members through new products and services that have the potential to make a lasting difference in the business success of Ontario realtors.
Going forward, we will be reaching out to the member board leadership for your ideas. You will get a brief with some key questions on it to help you prepare. Then we will do the research on a broad range of ideas that will be in the consultation paper. In the fall, we will launch an extensive consultation process featuring a multi-channel approach to gather feedback from across our profession based on the ideas in the consultation paper. This process will include one-on-one meetings with our member boards, as well as updates at both peak leadership in January and our AGM in late February. Ultimately, what to do with the unanticipated surplus will be a decision that will be made by the OREA Board of Directors after evaluating all member feedback as part of our strategic planning process in the spring of 2020.
I am really excited about the path ahead. These investments could be game-changing for our profession. As your president, I want to hear from you. You can submit your ideas to president@orea.com, which is the email address that has also been shared with our membership for gathering feedback and ideas. Thank you for tuning in today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.